Hi everybody, it's Anne from Anne Stampin'Up. We have today beautiful sort of a 2-for-1 deal on the cards. This is the first one and it uses Flirty Flamingo at the top, So Saffron in the middle, and the bottom is actually Granny Apple Green. The skeleton of the card, if you will, is the part that you're seeing now, labelled So Saffron as well. What I used to make this set is the Simply Succulents stamp set, which is a beautiful stamp set. It's really lovely. Whoops. And the potted succulents dies. The potted succulents, it's one sheet of the succulent dies. This is the other sheet of the succulent dies. And as you can see, it makes a whole card front. So it's really a versatile set. It's beautiful. So what we're going to do, first of all, we're going to stamp a little bit because we want to do all the cutting with the big shot at the same time. What we're going to stamp the sentiments for the inside of the card first of all. And we're going to change up the colours as well. So we're going to use Gorgeous Grape for one card and Whisper White for the other. This an inside of Highland Heather. Alright. So we're going to use the Gorgeous Grape stamp first of all. What are we going to put on the outside? On the outside I think we're going to put You Make the Ordinary Extraordinary. I'm going to stamp this for the front. You Make the Ordinary Extraordinary. This one is going to have a little bit on the front. Close up the pad before we get an arm in it. Move them out of the way. So we have somewhere a piece of Whisper White that we're going to cut the big die out of. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this down first and I'm going to lay my die down on a flat surface in the middle of the page. And I'm just going to tape it to the page in a couple of spots where I've got enough metal to hold the tape without ripping the card. Okay, so there's a little bit there. I'll try a little bit over here. There, and try and keep that level, and then I'm just going to wrap the tape around the card. Okay. So the reason I taped this is because I want to be able to put it on an angle so that it'll go through the big shot nicely, but on an angle, and I don't want it to move. So there's my top plate going on. Let me bring my top plate back. And it's always better to stagger your plates for starting off. Excuse my hand in there. And I'm going to bring it back as well because I want it to cut right through. And then we're going to do Kind People Are My Kind of People. And we're going to cut it out and we're going to use this little die here. Alright. And that's going to go on the front of the card. Now there again it kind of slips around, so I'm just going to put a piece of washi tape or painter's tape. There. So there we've got that punched out. So that's the mat I cut out, and it cuts out beautifully. There it is. It's all nice. It's nice and it's nice and flat. And what we're going to do, we're going to take our Whisper White card base, fold it and score it. It's scored at 4 1/4. It's a 5 1/2 by 4 1/4 card base. 8 1/2, sorry, by 5 1/2. Scored at 4 1/4. I'm going to move that out for a second and bring in a scrap of paper that we're going to just use because we don't want to mess up the tabletop. Alright, so we're going to put the card down I'm going to line it up on some lines here, scrap paper, tape it down, close the card, take my skeleton mat here and lie it right on top of the card, and then I'm just going to take an extra couple of pieces of tape, make sure this is right on my card lined up nicely, and I'm going to tape it on the corner and the opposite corner. Okay, so there, that's what we're gonna work with and work on. Let's glue that stamps out of the way. So first of all, we've got some purple posy, some mint macaron, and some daffodil delight. There's no mistakes here. Now what I am going to use are blending brushes. This looks like it's a solid piece of foam, but it isn't. It's tiny little fine bristles, and it works beautifully for this. So we're going to open up the purple posy first of all, and we're going to take a clean blending brush, and they just wash out when you're finished. We're going to pick up some ink. There. And we're going to come off the edge of the paper, just scrubbing this around. And I just want to make it go across on an angle. Making sure I get right to the ends of the card. That one in there, and they just wash out. You just take them to the kitchen sink, put them under the faucet and wash them out. So that's one colour. Then I'm going to use mint macaron. Same idea. Pick up some ink, come off the side of your card, making sure you overlap the purple because you don't want a white part in there that's got no colour on. And then pick up a different one, a different colour. I'm going to use Daffodil Delight. Sorry about my arm cutting across the picture all the time. There. So we've done that. We're going to gently peel the tape off. Now you see how we've got the corner that has no colour on, so I'm just going to rub that over the corner to fill in the corner a little bit. Same with this one. And turn it upside down and peel these off. Oh, got a piece of green there. Just going to take the purple and fill in just the corners again. See if I can hide that piece that's got some yellow on. I can't, but you know, I don't think anybody will notice it. once it dries, it just sort of blends in. So now we're going to put the card together. So basically what we have, we've got a card. Oops, let me take my pieces of tape off there. So basically we have a card with a smudge on. We'll fix that. We'll do something there. And you've got a mat to work with as well. Okay. The mat we're going to put on a piece of gorgeous grape cardstock. I'm going to score it. And that's going to go on there like that. Now I am going to trim this down a little bit. Because this side here looks a little wider to me, so I'm just going to trim a sliver off there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it to the card first, starting at this edge. Alright, this one here, the card, we're just going to pop a sentiment on it. Now this here has a lot of little pieces that you want to glue, you know. So what I'm going to do is I have a silicone mat that I'm going to bring in. It's large, but I need a large mat because I want to show you, I want room to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put that face down. So I'm turning it face down. I'm bringing in some liquid adhesive and I'm just going to give it a good squirt on my mat, right on the mat. And because it's a silicone mat, it's not going to stick to the mat. Okay, I have a sponge dauber here, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this quite firmly as I can. I'm going to pick up bits of glue, and first of all I'm going to go right down this side, and then I'm sort of going to work by hand across the card, making sure I've got glue top and bottom, and dabbing it inside in the middle. It gets a bit harder to hold as you get closer to the end, to the left side of the card. And I'm going to pick up some glue from the middle here. Oops, from the middle here. Squirt out a little more. Not too much more, I don't think. Hold it on the bottom and go down this side, because I really want to make sure I've got lots of glue around the outside. And this mat as well will wash right off. You'll be able to wash, if you can either leave it so that the adhesive dries and you can literally roll it off with your finger, or you can take it right now and wash it off. I'm going to leave mine for a minute. Pick that up, out of the way. Now, as I said, I want to lay this down from the left side of the card so that I can trim it at the other side. Now I'm just going to lie it down gently, and then I'm going to take a piece of wax paper, lie it over my card and flatten my card out. The wax paper is going to pick up any adhesive that squirts out in between the parts. Just like that. You see there's white there. I'm not sure you can see it, but and it peels right off. But it gives you something to press on top of your card so that you can get your mat pressed down. Now if we open the card, you can see there's a little white line there that we will have to trim off. But that's alright, we planned that because this is the wider border and we put that to this side. So here we've got your kind people are my kind of people, and that's going to go on there. This is you make the ordinary extraordinary, and all we're going to do just for this one, we're going to cut this out. I'm going to eyeball it. Looks pretty good. Yep, and I think we'll just, what will we do? We'll just give it a little slant. Now a trick here, the corner that I've cut off, I'm going to take over to here. We want the smaller end at the top, so we're going to put it like that so that we're cutting this way and this way. Hold it up at the end of your card and use it as a line, a measure. I'm going to take my purple sponge, the sponge that had the purple colour on. Now I don't want too much colour around this, so just, yeah, see how quickly it picks it up? There. Close that. Find some dimensionals. Here's a minute. Peel off the backs. And I'm going to pop this on the bottom corner. Like that. We need a stamp on the inside. Lovely. So there we have one card. This card here is here. This is the piece for the inside. And this, on this one we're going to put the "You make the ordinary extraordinary" on the inside. Nice. For now we'll use snail for that. So there, we have two lovely cards. We have the others, we'll bring in the others. Two beautiful cards like this. Well, one like this. Toss it back, and a purple. And you see I think you need a richer background to make the skeleton stand out. But I think when you do the actual sponging on the card, it stands out better on just the plain white. I hope you can use this in your stamping. Please give credit where you learned the technique. Talk to you all soon. Bye bye.